Hello and welcome. This is Jessica. This is mamajess.com. And I just realized I have two sets of glasses on my face. But that's because I'm so totally not paying attention to my surroundings because my heart and my mind is so focused on the children of this country. And when I say children, I'm meaning probably anywhere between 15 and 55, or specifically narrowing in on between 20 and 35, maybe. Because we know in this country it's really hard to grow up. There's a lot of obstacles to it. So I'm wanting to start off, like, where do we begin? There's a lot to process. First thing, you need to pull out of all of the big heated political debates. Okay, you've got to get your mind back. You've got to have one simple connection because you're clearly overloaded. You're taking on the global issues, massive social issues. Sadly, a lot of you have not been given the historical, the complete historical understanding of the world. And it is true, as I was raised in Santa Cruz, I got a lot of a kind of a historical buffet in order for the professors and the teachers to indoctrinate me in beliefs that they really just weren't true. And so these last years I have been seeking anything I can regarding a greater understanding of history. So for example, political issue number one, abortion. Like, okay, so if you're with Mama Jess, we're going to pull out of that conversation. We're not going to talk about pro-life or pro-choice. You're going to quiet your mind down because you got to get your mind to a place where it can now start from the ground up and actually develop. Thinking clearly, thinking logically, thinking sensically. There's a lot of irrational, deficient thinking because your minds aren't developed yet. So you have to really get grounded in reality. And unfortunately, this culture definitely doesn't support that. They want you to be in every kind of evasive kind of fantasy land. And boy, is there a lot to talk about in that, because that's how they can make you slaves to their ideologies and consumerism and so forth. So number one, we're just going to pull out of the abortion debate. We're not going to talk about pro-choice or pro-life because Mama Jess has a whole different view on what would be best for you right now to think about. Because we have to calm your mind down, calm your nervous system down, kind of disarm and de-escalate the intensity that's in you, because it's too much, okay? Because you're young, you have a young mind, and even though you're older, you might have participated in a world of, perversions and addictions and looking like you're an adult, but really you're not an adult yet. Because it's about developing the mind and getting your needs met incrementally and moving in the direction of being full grown and hopefully lacking in nothing so you can be effective in this world and not move out with so much fear and just being generally overwhelmed and depressed by everything that you hear. The other issue, DEI, like, we're going to retreat. You need to understand more of the historical references. And I understand a lot of the arguments on both sides. And again, I was raised in Santa Cruz. So I was raised around the communist beliefs and the Marxist beliefs. And so I'm willing to listen to your concerns and what you see, because there is a lot of greed in this country. But it's important not to malign certain institutions and systems because humans corrupt them. Okay. What are some of the other massive issues that I want you to pull out of? Okay, yes. The whole gay, lesbian, transgender. Okay. You don't realize, but you're probably like 5 developmentally, even though you're 25. And you've taken on this mantle of heavy adulthood and issues that you're not ready for. So I'm not going to make these sweeping statements about what is right or wrong. We're just going to pull out of it. We're going to not talk about genitalia. We're not going to talk about your sexual interests. Okay, you need to have a connection with a human being that loves you and supports you and helps you get your life in order in all aspects and trains you in skill sets so that you can be a functioning human being. We're not going to be focused on dyeing our hair right now, whether it's like platinum blonde or multiple shades of rainbow. We're not doing that right now. Okay, so we're just going to pull out. And no, I was raised in Santa Cruz. I think it's probably the lesbian capital of the world. And San Francisco is just north, which would be more of the gay male environment. So I know all about that environment, and I have had gay friends, lesbian friends. I have gay family. It does not mean that I agree with them, but I know that I love them, and I try to understand. And I also have seen a lot of negativity in their lives. Some would say it's because they're societally shamed. But if you go on with Mama Jess, you need to understand that you're not going to be able to legislate people liking you. Okay? So you're going to have to learn to be self-accepting. If you're convinced that you're gay, you're going to have to not force it on people to like you, okay? Any more than I can make people like a gray-haired, middle-aged woman who's widowed with no children. Like, they're not going to want to like me. They don't want to be around me. I know enough about being around widows. Most widows are completely neglected in this country, but they're not out picketing like, you need to be, proud of me and love me and be here for me and support me. It's like, we just know, like, you don't care about us, and I personally don't want you around me if you don't really sincerely care. So just go out and do your selfish life and leave me be, because I have found a self-acceptance and I know I'm valuable without society agreeing with me. So it's important that we need to stop blaming society for the shame everybody feels, okay? Because you really need to learn to be independent of what people think of you, okay? So that's a massive issue. And is there anything else? Like Palestine, you're not going to talk about Palestine. You're not going to talk about Israel. You're going to clean your room. You're going to learn general skills about how to be a human being and how to live well, manage well, suffer well, overcome adversity, cook from scratch, take care of your health. Clearly, there's an enormous amount of obesity and sickness in our country. So you need to get healthy in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, and even understand that you are a tripartite being and you have these different aspects to yourself that you have to tend to first before you take on Palestine and terrorism, global terrorism. Like, we're going to have a history lesson so that you understand that terrorism has always been in this world. Slavery has always been in this world, whether blacks enslaved whites, whites enslaved blacks. Just so you know, the word slave comes from Slavic, because in the trade routes on the way down into the Mediterranean, whether it was Rome or Greece or the Ottoman Empire or Muslims, the Vikings and other tradesmen were picking up the Slavic people to make them slaves, okay? And my understanding is that they're white, if we're going to talk about the pigment of your skin. So, yeah, it's really important that you get educated on these things. So I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, Palestine. Like, we're not going to talk about Palestine here, and I want that to get out of your mind right now, because you're not responsible for that. You have to get your house in order before you are equipped to participate in the reality and the weight of making these heavy decisions. Okay, you have to have more life experience in order to really have a sound argument or a sound solution for those very serious issues that have plagued history from the beginning of time. Also, whether you're, okay, I've got to go because I can only upload 10 minutes. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.